Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Fits. Beautiful day, Saturday here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. But then you too are at the center of your world. So the title of today's Zen Fit is The Bad Day Cup. The Bad Day Cup. I just thought of this, so let's see where it goes. But let me take a drink of it. This is a regular cup. A friend of mine gave me one of these. It's called a Bad Day Cup. See, it's got a bend in it. It's a bad cup. Now, the funny thing about this is that this friend of mine had one, and so I said I would like one. So she had a friend who was a potter, and asked her to make a Bad Day Cup, and this potter found it very difficult to make a bad cup intentionally. Her whole art, her craft was to make perfect cups. So now she had to intentionally make a bad cup with a dent in it, you see. And she found it to be very odd, to intentionally be bad. You ever think about that? To intentionally be bad? So the point of my talk, if there is a point, is that I wanted to talk about Trump and his reality of those who were in with Trump, which would be both the GOP and the Evangelicals, is that we need a metaphor. We need a handle, something to get hold of it. So I thought this was a good metaphor because now suppose this was your mind. And remember now that mind is both individual, your mind, and the collective mind. So no, mind does not stand by itself. We are all basically part of an American mind. And then the American mind is part of the European mind, since we come out of the European culture, you see. And so if Thailand would be a Thailand mind, and then it would be part of an Asian mind, Southeast Asian, see what I mean? So mind is both individual and a collective. So if you go to a store, you would select a particular cup that might be part of a collection made by that one potter. So it would be, see what I mean? So there's no mind stands by itself. No mind stands by itself. It's always part of a collective. And these collectives are like Russian nesting dolls. I wish I could find one. If I ever see one, I'll buy one. But a Russian nesting doll is a big doll, and you open up, there's a smaller doll, and a smaller doll, and a smaller doll, and blah, 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 blah. You get down to a teeny, teeny, teeny little doll. The one that cannot be divided. See? But anyway, they're all nested together. So minds are nested together. So what happens so this is a mind, all right? Now what happens if this is your mind and you're having a bad day? And you get up and every day you have a bad day. And no matter what you do, it turns out to be, I told you it's going to be a bad day. It reminds me of Everyone Loves Raymond. Raymond was not happy. I love that. Raymond was not happy. They did a skit on this particular idea. He was not happy unless it was turning out bad, unless something was wrong, unless it was going bad, you see. He was not happy unless he had a bad day cup. But then he was free from the bad day cup because he could laugh at it. But anyway, the idea is that if your mind has a bend in it, everything you see is going to have a bend in it. And since you cannot stand alone, because then people are all looking, saying you're crazy. So you're going to find other people with the same bend, same fault, same thing in your mind, so you can affirm your reality and say, the other people are crazy. We're okay. We're okay. They're the ones that got the bend. They're the ones that's got the, oh, I got to tell this. It just popped up, so please, forgive me, okay. But anyway, a number of years ago, if you notice on the TV, there's a particular ad now for men with a crooked penis, and they call it Peyronie's disease, and they say, oh, if you've got the Peyronie's disease, you got to go see the doctor. So years ago, I had that, and I went to the doctor, and I says, what have I got? He says, oh, you got the Peyronie's disease. And I said, well, what do you do? And he says, well, you find a woman with a crooked vagina. In other words, if you've got a crook in your pot, in your mind, you find other people with the same crook, you see, with the same bend, because you can't stand alone. So what's the point? So what's this thing about Trump then? How does that, what is, so the Trumpism, with all the people that see Trump as being a good president or a savior, either one, you see. Either he's a good president, don't impeach him, he's a good one, or he's a religious savior, so to speak. You see, these two come together. So the coming together of these two viewpoints is new in American history. Not that the Christian viewpoint is new, but when it becomes a political viewpoint / Christian viewpoint, it's new. Because this is the union of church and state, which the Constitution prohibits for a very good reason. Because it creates a bend. It creates a bend in the collective mind, like a fishbowl within a fishbowl. So you take America as the one fishbowl, and then in America you've got all these subcultural fishbowls in it. You got the black, you got the Jewish, you got the Muslim, you got the independent, you got all these different fishbowls, you see. LB gay fishbowls, all these little fishbowls, you see. And so then you got the Trump fishbowl in there, you see. And they all have their own unique shape. So they can say, I'm different. I'm me. See, so no me stands alone. Every me has to get with a collective me. And we try to get our collective me bigger, because the bigger my me gets, the bigger my collective me gets, the more assured I am that it's real and okay. If it starts to shrink, I begin to doubt, wait a minute, you see, something may be, this may not be a certain thing here. There's a bend in my cup. My cup isn't perfect. You see, so the irony is that we have to believe that our cup is perfect. And it's very difficult to live in a cup that has a fault in it, because we believe our cup is perfect. My religion, my politics, my me, my family, my group, my cup, you see, is a perfect cup. And everyone else says, no, it's got a bend in it. What? You got the bend. I don't have the bend. You see, we have to have a perfect cup. So what's very difficult for us is like the potter who had to intentionally make a bad cup. Now, comedy, I've been writing about and getting high on the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, because she demonstrates how the comic makes the fault in my cup a comedy. I can laugh at the fault in the cup. When I can laugh at the fault in the cup, it's perfect. See, every cup has a fault in it. There's no such thing as a perfect mind. There's no such thing as a perfect religion, a perfect group, a perfect political party. There's no such thing as a perfect cup. Every cup has a flaw. Every cup has a flaw, you see. So liberation is when you make a joke out of your flaw, when you laugh at it. And you laugh because you realize everything is bent. The human mind is bent. The human mind has a shape to it, a collective shape to it, and every shape has a fault in it, a crack, a spot, a nitpick, something, we all do this. We all look at somebody and say, oh, you've got a fault. Let me get that thing off, you see. We see the sin. We see the fault in others. We see the lint. We see the hole. We see the, the wart. We see the fault. But we don't see it in ourselves because we essentially think we're a perfect cup, you see. And so anyway, you can really see this in human behavior. And I think with the Trump cup is that the bend in it is shaping the mind of the people in the Trump cup, so that the bigger cup points out the flaw in the Trump cup, the more you double down on your own flaw, your own perfection, which is a flaw. See, the catch. This is catch 22. The more people, the bigger cup points out the flaw in your cup, the more you double down on the perfection of your cup and the imperfection of those who are pointing out your bend, you see. So you become more flawed. You become more bent. You become more insane until you see the flaw in your own cup. And then you see the absurdity of it. Then you see the utter insanity of it. And you just fall on the floor laughing. And that's a Zen fit. Thanks for dropping in. Have a Zen fit today.